Nick, thanks for your time today to talk about Safewards and healthcare assistant involvement with Safewards. If I just tell people just a little bit about what Safewards is, if they've never heard of it, and then we'll talk about healthcare assistants. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine, Jeff.
Safewards, for those who don't know, is a model and a set of 10 start interventions that effectively has been researched and shown to make wards safer. The interventions themselves are a mixture of things that engage the young people, but also things that staff can do to improve their interactions with young people. Can I ask you, in your work with Safewards, if you've seen any benefit from healthcare assistant involvement?
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. As you say, I've seen Safewards used by wards to make them safer. And importantly, that's for both the staff and the young people. Now, the answer to your question in relation to the benefit of healthcare assistance is a huge yes. But I would go further and say the wards that have had the best results with Safewards have had massive healthcare assistant involvement.
Oh, that's interesting. Could you tell us a little bit more?
Well, for starters, I think it's the healthcare assistants that are often the people with the most direct contact with the young people. So if we take one of the Safewards interventions as an example to look at this, can we have a look at discharge messages, Jeff?
We certainly can. I'll just share.
Okay. Okay, for those who don't know, discharge messages is an intervention that helps young people with the shock of admission. It's really hard to be admitted. So if you think about a young person, they're away from family and friends, they're likely to feel anxious and be very vulnerable. So discharge messages as an intervention works by inviting young people who are being discharged to write messages of hope, support, or advice to help other young people when they're first admitted onto the ward. So the intervention is probably the most obvious visually on a ward that does Safewards. As you're showing, Jeff, the displays are often spectacular. So I've seen healthcare assistants contribute and some lead this intervention, as it really requires people who can engage with young people and encourage those being discharged to complete a message, but also to support the young people who are being admitted to see the messages on the display when they first arrive on the ward. So of all the staff on a ward, often healthcare assistants are the staff that are best placed to make this successful.
Thank you, Nick. That's really interesting, and I would agree with that. Although Safewards is a whole ward intervention, healthcare assistants are the staff we often see supporting the interventions, and particularly those that engage the young people.
Yeah, it is a whole ward intervention, but I think, again, it's important to say that it doesn't require special training or a qualification. Much more important in a way is knowing the ward. And that's where the staff and young people have to get together to make it happen. So healthcare assistants, I'd say, have equal status in this and real potential to make Safewards happen.
Yeah, funny enough, I was just thinking of our friend Janine in the Dewey Jones and her huge involvement in Safewards there.
Yeah, indeed. If we think of Janine as a healthcare assistant, she's part of a team making the interventions happen. She has a valid and valuable contribution to make, as she really gets the theory, but has the practical knowledge of the ward and the young people and how to make it happen.
Thanks, Nick. We haven't got time to go through all 10 interventions now. So how would you suggest healthcare assistants find more about Safewards?
Well, I think that's the beauty of Safewards, is that they find out in the same way as qualified staff, for example. There are websites, both the one that you were involved in, Jeff, in the UK, and the one developed by the staff in Australia, that explain the interventions and how they work. The Australian site has videos that are excellent at making it really accessible. So if people go on a browser and simply search for Safewards UK or Safewards Victoria, they will find the resources.
Tell you what, Nick, should we give that a go? Let me just share my screen again and see if I can. So if we go to, what were you saying? It was Safewards UK?
Yeah. Look at that one first.
And there it is. Well done. You're absolutely right. There she is.
Brilliant.
Okay, so that's it. And there's the interventions and there's discharge messages. Brilliant, lovely. If we just have a quick look then, what was it, Victoria?
Safewards Victoria.
Victoria, let's search for that. And there it is. Thank you very much, Nick. That is excellent.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's great, Nick. And thank you very much for your time. Any final thoughts?
Not thoughts. I just wanted to say a big thank you to all the healthcare assistants that have made Safewards such a success, because they have been key to that happening.
I would echo that, Nick, and I would thank you for your time today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jeff.